Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, my favorite day of the week. It means we are right in there, battling, ready to go, ready to get right back to work. I'm working currently today on excelling at tough, no-limit hold'em games. Not sure if there may be a better title for that. It's going to be kind of like this book. This book is about 100,000 words. We're about 30,000 words into excelling at tough, no-limit hold'em games. We were going to say online, but turns out Americans don't play a whole lot of online poker. And the distributor thought that was a bad title. So we're going to try tough, no-limit games. We're not sure. If you have a better title, send it to us. Always happy to hear your input. Also, I've been promoting my cash game course. Recently, I did a webinar for you all on Monday. If you missed that, you can go right to my YouTube channel. If you want to get information on the cash game course, you can go to pokercoaching.com/cash. There, you can also just sign up for Poker Coaching Premium if you want. It's $100 a month, and the cash game course is included with loads and loads of other content. So, one of our Poker Coaching Premium members sent in a question. If you are a Poker Coaching Premium member, feel free to send in questions if you'd like, and I'll answer them if it makes logical sense. I know that it's a little bit tough to type the question into the chat box. So, here's the question. This is from level 1 of the main event. 100, 200, 200, 60,000 effective stacks. Maybe I'll post this in the chat. Let's see. I'll post this in the chat if it'll let me. Oh, that's a mess. Well, whatever. All right, I'm just going to read it over here. All right. Hero in the big blind with Jack 9 offsuit. Cutoff makes the 600. Button calls, big hero calls in the big blind with Jack 9. Sure. Flop comes Jack 10 8. Hero checks. Button bet. Cutoff bets. Button calls. Hero raises. I would definitely not raise here. Cutoff folds, button folds. You're surprised at his raise since it seemed like he was overplaying his hand. I agree. Hero has a made hand plus a draw, so much of the value from this hand is the marginal made hand factor. I agree. Top pair with a marginal kicker is not something you want to blow the pot with, especially out of position in a multi-way pot. I agree. Furthermore, if Hero gets re-raised on the flop, it's gross since his hand has so much equity against basically everything other than Queen 9. I agree. This player's reason was he can sometimes make better hands fold by the end. Listen, one thing I've learned at the World Series of Poker main event, don't try to make sets fold. Don't try to make two pairs fold. Sometimes, though, he argues that if the opponent had pocket aces, they can't just pile their money in. Well, no. But, are you really thinking you're going to be able to make aces fold by the river? I mean, maybe. I guess. Oddly, you can get called by worse hands since there are so many good draws that you are ahead of. I don't like it. Seems like a very easy call. Very, very easy call, in my opinion. But, hey, people play differently. Some people are blasting off right from the get-go. And, if I'm going to raise here with a pair and a draw, it would definitely be with 9-8s. Because then, you actually can make a lot of better hands fold by the river, right? When you have a hand like 9-8, or, let's say, Ace-9, even. I would be perfectly fine with raising those hands. Because those hands have plenty of equity, but they completely lack showdown value, right? So whenever you are raising with a draw, you want to be able to make a lot of better hands fold. And whoever sent in this hand said basically that their logic in raising was that they can make a lot of better hands fold by the river. But I'm not actually sure that is true. Did I break my chat program? There's a chance I broke my chat program. I'm not sure if I did or not. We'll see if it updates. Let's see. Well, whatever. So yeah, today I want to talk about having a backup plan. Something we're going to be discussing and excelling at tough no-limit hold'em games very briefly, because that is something that you have to make sure that you have. So, in this book, we were mainly discussing online poker backup plans. For example, you need good backup internet. If you are a professional poker player on the internet, and you don't have two internet options, you are messing up. It's a big mistake. Also, you need to make sure you have a backup computer because computers go down every once in a while. Speaking of this, though, if you are playing online poker professionally or at a high level at all, and you're playing on a computer that doesn't function very well, I'm not saying you need a super fancy computer, but if your computer just doesn't work right, get a new computer. That would be like a professional tennis player playing tennis without a good racket or with a broken racket. Like, is that really what you're going to do? Like, no, that would be asinine. Treat the game professionally if you are trying to be a professional. You also want to have a backup way to get money, just in case you go on a downswing in your account. Some sites take a long time for you to deposit. And if that is an issue you have, then make friends, right? Anytime I go to a live tournament, I always have plenty of money with me, in terms of like whatever the buy-in is. But if for some reason I lose it, which almost never happens, because what happens is I usually go to a tournament, I wire the money to the cage, then the cage just holds the money. So it's not like I'm going to go take the money out and just blast off at the pit or something, right? Like a lot of people do. So I usually don't have this problem. Like, I don't need a backup plan for this because I already have solved it. But if you do go to the casino and you don't have tons of funds on you, then maybe you need to make sure you have friends who can give you a quick loan or something like this. So be aware of that. So those are things that poker players need to be very keenly aware of. I see you all asking me questions. This is not a question and answer session today. That'll maybe be on Friday. But I'll answer these. The Bankroll Bible is priceless. Good, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let's see. With the new age of 1/3 pot bets on the flop, it's not a new age. It's just good, fundamentally sound poker in some spots. Can you talk about how this affects GTO theory of betting pot with a balanced range on all three streets? When you're betting all three streets, that implies you have a very polarized range. If you have a very polarized range, you're betting with your best made hands and your draws. If you bet third pot in a particular spot, how does that affect the later streets? Well, essentially, so you're saying you want to be polarized on the turn in the river. You can be polarized at any point, right? Anytime you just bet big, you're essentially polarized. So you can bet small on the flop with a wide range and then bet big on the turn. That's perfectly fine. Let's see. You have bad air in Brazil. I hate to hear that. It's good to have good air. Wear the masks like some people do. Get good air. You started reading Mastering Small Stakes No Limit Hold'em and you can't wait to get back to it tonight. Good. I'm glad to hear that. All right. Let's get back to backup plans. The easiest, another issue that a lot of poker players get in trouble with is they don't have money set aside for their expenses when poker inevitably goes wrong, because it will eventually. Poker will go wrong eventually. Don't think that it won't. You are going to have downswings. You're going to have upswings, but you are going to have downswings. So if you always keep, let's say, oh, hi. Okay, fine. Come here for a minute. You can say hello to everybody.
Hey, look.
Hey, look. What is that?
A Paw Patrol game.
A Paw Patrol cup?
Sit down.
You want to sit down?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you up to? Did you just make food for Thomas?
Yeah. I made food for Thomas. I helped Dama.
You helped Dama make food for Thomas?
Yeah.
What did you make?
Broccoli.
You made broccoli for Thomas?
Yeah.
Oh, healthy baby. We make most of Thomas's food. He has broccoli and carrots and apples and what else? What else did he have? Yeah, okay. Calbrazo, no. You do not have to bet pot just for your opponent to be indifferent. You just have to structure your range differently. For example, if you bet three times the pot on the river, what is this? What is this? It's my book. Look, there's Daddy. If you bet 3 times pot on the river, you can still be very balanced. So don't think you have to bet exactly pot. Like that does not make sense. You have to. Whenever you're betting smaller, you have fewer bluffs in your range. Whenever you're betting bigger, you have more bluffs in your range. We discussed this thoroughly over at pokercoaching.com and the homework challenge, and the homework challenges. Do you like Paw Patrol?
Yeah, I like Paw Patrol.
Make a video about stats?
I like
Which stats would you like to know about, Marcos?
Paw Patrol's great.
Paw Patrol is great. I don't even know if you've ever seen an episode of Paw Patrol. We only watch, what shows do we watch?
So great.
Which shows do we watch? We watch 3 shows. We watch Jeopardy.
It's Jeopardy.
Who's the host of Jeopardy?
It's a big doll.
You have your Alex Trebek doll? Where is it? You want to go get it and show it to people? Do you know where it is?
Yeah. So
You want to go get it and show it to people?
we're gonna be right back.
He's going to be right back. Okay, go. Go get it. Go get it. Go get your Alex Trebek doll. You need to have a backup plan. You need to keep money set aside from your poker bankroll to pay your bills. You don't want to have, let's say, $5,000 to your name playing 2-5 no limit. Or no, playing you don't want to have like $20,000 to your name playing 2-5 no limit live, and then you end up just like blasting it off. What happened?
I did from my Alex Trebek doll.
You didn't find your Alex Trebek doll?
No.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
I
What,
had two.
you have 2 cups?
Yeah.
What other shows do you like? Do you like Sesame Street?
No.
Yes, you do. Do you like Barney?
Yeah.
Those are our shows: Barney, Sesame Street, and Jeopardy.
I like Jeopardy and Sesame.
They can't hear you when you talk in there.
I was Sesame.
Do you like Sesame?
Mm-hmm.
Good, 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 good. Let's see.
And
You got in the Mid-States Poker Tour last night. You're excited. Good. Shh, listen, someone saw me in my tournament the other day. You didn't want to... Stop. You didn't want to interrupt me. Always come up and say hi. Feel free to come up and say hi whenever you like. Hey, I'm going to make you leave if you're just going to keep yelling. This is not a show for yelling. This is a show for being a professional adult. Can you be a professional adult?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. What are you going to do today?
Huh?
What are you going to do today?
I'm gonna play Tristan.
You're going to go play with your friend Tristan?
No.
What are you going to do?
I'm gonna play John.
You're going to play with John?
Yeah.
Your friend John?
Yeah, my friend John.
Good. I hope you have a good time. Well, look, I have to continue my show, so why don't you tell everybody bye?
No, I know we're gonna play with John.
You want to stay here with Daddy?
Yeah.
I see. Someone asked me the other day, do you make any poker content without your kids? And I'm like, yes, the vast majority of it. All right. Everyone talking about politics, get out of here. That's not what we do in this room. I'm sure there are many political channels where you can go and discuss exactly that with people who care. All right, let's see. What else? Money for expenses. Have money set aside. A lot of it. The more money you can have set aside for expenses, the better. That way,
Mama, you like hair.
you don't have to...
Tell us, Mickey Mouse for
you don't have to essentially...
for Thomas.
Stop talking so much. Don't you hear me talking? One thing I've learned is that children yelling in your ears is very, very, very distracting. It makes it hard to get work done. I thought about going and getting an office, but then I'm like, oh no, I don't want to actually go to work. All right, go out with Dalma. I love you. Have a good day. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, let's see. Where were we? Do you all like Mr. James or no? I can make him not come in here. Let's see. Yeah, everyone who wants to talk about nonsense can take their talk to the parking lot. They can pull out their guns and their snowflakes and hit each other with them. All right, let's see. Anybody poker tracking app suggestion? I just use a notepad. Vanessa Russo, haven't heard her name in a long time, says, online poker is unbeatable. Is that true? Absolutely not. I'm part of a backing company, and, well, they're beating it left and right. What's the tip for the day? The tip for the day is to have a backup plan. Let's get back on that. All right. Seriously, you need to make sure you have expenses set aside for your day-to-day life, right? You don't want to be constantly taking money out of your bankroll. What happens to a lot of players, especially small and medium stakes players, is they'll be playing 1-2 or 2-5, and they will essentially win $3,000 or $4,000 a month, right? So they'll win $3,000 or $4,000 a month, and then they'll spend $4,000 or $5,000 a month. That doesn't work because your bankroll is getting depleted. So what that means is you essentially have to make a point to not spend as much or make more. One of the two, right? Also, it's very different if you play tournaments, because in tournaments you go on a down. You're usually down, right? Because the way tournaments work is you lose, then you have a spike. Whenever you have that spike, lock up a lot of that money. Every time I won a big tournament in the past, I would buy an apartment or condominium. I would rent it out. Looking back, I wish I rented a house or bought a house, but whatever. I didn't know any better. Some guys can't resist going out for fancy dinners. The steak is only 10 big blinds. You can afford it. Yeah, that's how a lot of people think, right? They take whatever they win and they light it on fire in the form of food, drinks, entertainment, whatever. And money goes quickly. So you have to be aware that you have to plan ahead. And that doesn't mean like go without or not enjoy yourself at all. But at the same time, if you are in the bankroll building phase of your career, as I know a lot of you are, you have to hold on to your money. I discussed this in my cash game book about how, like, if you have two players, one of them who has almost no expenses, one who has like $4,000 a month expenses, playing 2-5 no limit, trying to move to 5-10. The one who doesn't have many expenses gets to 5-10 like 2 times as fast. That's a lot faster. And then they win a whole lot more money at 5-10 while they're there. So they win like 4 or 5 times as much money as the player who has some expenses. And I get it that like you can't keep all expenses down, but at the same time, look at the things that you have that you don't even use. Like a good example of this is cable TV, right? Cable TV costs $100-something a month if you have a big plan, and a lot of people don't even watch it all that much. They watch it like 5 hours a day, or they only watch sporting events on it. Realize that you can save $2,000 a year just by getting a $20 a month Netflix subscription, and that's it. And go to the restaurant to watch the game or whatever. So, look for easy things you can cut. Coffee in the morning, right? You can go to Starbucks, spend $5, or you can make your own coffee for 20 cents. I don't know how much this coffee costs. Maybe it's 20 cents, maybe it's $1. Actually, this coffee was free for me because McLaughlin Coffee Roasters, who is here in this chat every once in a while, sent it to me. You can go to McLaughlin Coffee Roasters and use code POKER to get some percentage off, I think 25. So yeah, this coffee was stone free. And I've been drinking it for like 2 months. KCAP says your cable and phone bill costs almost $500 a month, LOL. Yeah, good example of this. I used to be on Verizon. Actually, I was on AT&T, and they were just kind of, I had bad service. So then I changed to Verizon, which was fine. But then I learned that you can get you can switch to T-Mobile for half the price. So I was paying my phone bill and some of my relatives' phone bills, my wife's phone bill. It was like $500 a month. Now it's like $250 a month for the same thing. Like, I'm not even getting anything significantly worse. I mean, maybe it's like a tiny bit worse, but it works in my house, right? Which is all I really care about. And it works everywhere else. And it costs literally half as much money. And that's insane, right? The fact that just doing a little bit of better shopping, not going to the brand that markets to me the most, although T-Mobile markets pretty hard, we end up saving, $3,000 a year, right? That kind of stuff adds up. Anyway, if you have any bankroll questions, check out jonathanlittlepoker.com/bankroll. I have my bankroll Bible there. To be fair, I'm actually thinking about making a book called the Bankroll Bible, really building it out. It's only like 20 pages on that site, but I could probably make a 300-page book on it. Don't know if anyone wants that, though. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's another cell phone outlet out there that is even cheaper, right? Someone's saying Boost, 3 lines for $100. Exactly, right? All right, other ways to have good backup plans. Well, if you're a poker player, you should very likely have a backup plan in case poker goes poorly. Now, you may say something to the effect of, yeah, but if I have a backup plan, won't I not try as hard to succeed? And, I mean, I would tell you to get that mindset out of your brain as fast as you possibly can, because you should always be trying your best. We discussed the 4 Agreements book the other day, where one of the agreements is basically always do your best. And that is true. So many people just don't do their best. They slack off all the time. They're lazy. They don't take things seriously, and they never get anywhere. You do not become elite at anything by slacking off. So do your best, right? You have to recognize this. I mean, I was lucky, I guess, to always recognize this. My dad was always saying, do your best, do your best. And your best doesn't mean be happy with failure. Your best more so means actually devote your life to whatever your passion is and whatever you want to be doing and do it. Now, the idea that you should be always following your passion may not actually be accurate, because maybe you like your passion for the wrong reasons, or maybe your passion is not productive. I have a problem with this where I like Magic the Gathering, but it's not productive. It's just absolutely not productive for me. And, that's okay. So, don't do it. You don't have to do everything you want to do. You want to make sure you're channeling your energy to things that actually matter, that can impact your life or help others' lives, right? John Garza says, you're ride or die poker, but you never play. You just study and stay broke. Well, studying and staying broke would be a lot like Roger Federer, who's very good at tennis, quite old for a tennis player. It'd be like him practicing all the time, eating right, staying in good shape, which he does. But then, time for the big tournament to come around, he decides, you know what, I'm just going to practice more. I don't really want to play. That doesn't make sense. In order to be a successful poker player, you have to play, practice, study, work hard, stay in reasonable shape. You have to do all of the things. You have to be very well-rounded. What? You want to come in? This is Dalma's gonna. You want to go get Thomas, or Dalma's gonna go get Thomas?
I want to get Thomas.
Dalma go get some. All right, I'll send you there in just a minute. Everybody, say hello again. James is back. Say hello. What are you up to?
I will be great.
You're being great.
Yeah.
Are you having?
I will sit.
Oh, you want to sit? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk a talkie bill.
What do you want?
Talkie bill.
We're making a talking video?
Yeah.
Yeah, talking video. Do you see this book? Who's on this book?
Huh?
Who's on this book?
That's Mommy.
That's not Mommy. That's Liv Boree.
That's Mommy.
This is Mommy, Liv Boree apparently, and this is Daddy. Yeah.
That's Mommy.
No, that's Liv Boree.
That's my Mommy.
Mommy's not on this book. Mommy doesn't write poker books.
That's Mommy.
I don't know. We don't have any pictures of Mommy in here. Sorry, Mommy.
That's Daddy.
That's Will Tipton.
That's Daddy.
No, that's Chad Holloway.
That's Daddy.
No, that's Evan Jarvis. You're just saying words now. You're being silly. You're making jokes. Let's see. All right. What else do we want to talk about? So, what is the best backup plan to whatever you're doing?
That's clue. That's a clue.
It's a clue?
That's one clue.
It's a clue?
See.
Yeah, that's Daddy's note clues. Yeah, that's Daddy's note clues.
Clues.
It's a clue to
I'll
help.
go get for you. Go get for you.
No, leave that there. I don't need that. You leave that right there.
That's clue.
Yeah, I stole Will Tipton and Liv Boree's baby. This is him. The good one, huh?
That's a clue.
All right.
That's a clue. A clue.
It's a clue.
I'll go get it for you.
You're going to get it for them?
Yeah. That's a clue. I'll go get it for you.
Are you aware that you're literally talking to 1,000 people right now?
That one.
No, don't press any buttons. Don't press any buttons.
Look! Behind you! Behind you!
What?
Behind you!
What?
There!
That's a trophy.
You get a book.
Yeah, I took the book out. You're right. That's where the book came from. All right.
Yeah.
Why don't you go get Thomas and bring him here?
Oh, no, I need to...
Go get Thomas.
Ow.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
The best backup plan is education. It's very, very, very good to know things, not just about poker, but about life, right? Now, if you are very well educated about poker, you know how to play poker well, and you are constantly trying to push up a little bit, try a little bit harder, grow your bankroll, and you run into resistance because maybe you have progressed as high as you can, then it's nice to know that you know how to move back down to a smaller level, play, and make money, right? Also, say you are getting into poker because it's a nice way to make money, you enjoy the game, etc., then for whatever reason you decide you don't like it anymore because maybe you like playing poker recreationally but not full time, all day, every day. As many people find out once they go from being a recreational player to a pro. It's very good to have a backup plan, and a good backup plan is an education. So many poker players have a college degree that they do not use, but they recognize that it is a solid backup plan. Now, There's a lot of debate as to whether or not you should even be going to college at this point in life, given it is incredibly expensive, right? Because if you get out of college and you have significant debt, imagine you had that debt instead. You could have used all that money to do something else, and you ideally would have learned a lot. That said, my kids are going to get college educations if I have any say in it, most likely, unless it becomes instead of $50,000 a year for tuition, $300,000 a year, and then I can't afford it. How to get past emotions and fear in poker? Education. No one really talks about the emotional and psychological side. Are you kidding me, Time? I have 2 books right here. Peak Poker Performance and Positive Poker on poker psychology. I have extensive webinars. You can go to hold'embook.com. I did webinars with Elliot Rowe, Dr. Tricia Cardner, Jared Tendler, all on these things. The experience of being off to college is an education in itself. Yeah, but you can get that without paying $50,000 a year. Dave Benefield went that route. Dave Benefield played poker, or Dave Benefield was at college. I went to visit Dave Benefield in Texas one day whenever we were both like 20 years old. I won the Sunday Million on that trip. Actually, I chopped the Sunday Million on that trip. Let's get it right. It was actually a fun story. We kind of all agreed that a day or two before the Sunday Million, they would like chop our action in the Sunday Million because we were like all kids who had, I don't know, $50K to our name or $100K to our name or something. And we went out and partied the night before, and then only like 3 or 4 of us woke up in time to play the Sunday Million, myself included, instead of the 20 Ship and Halabalas who were there. And instead of chopping little pieces 20 ways, I ended up chopping just a few bigger pieces and made some money for myself. But what Dave did is he quit college, played poker, and then realized, you know what? I don't know if I love poker as much as I thought I loved poker. So then he went back to school. And that's my understanding of it, at least. Tony Robbins said, burn boats when it comes to backup plans. Yeah, and I disagree. I think that's asinine. I do like the idea of going full on what you are doing. We already discussed this time. Maybe you just showed up. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan Little. I'm a professional poker player, author, commentator. I have content on all aspects of No Limit Hold'em. Not so much on the other games, but No Limit Hold'em is a big game, including psychological stuff, mindset stuff, etc. Anyway, the idea of not having a backup plan only works if you don't actually try your best. And we already discussed you must try your best in all aspects of life that you take seriously. You suggest playing with old-type calling stations. Yeah. Or loose drunk people at night. Yeah, both. If you're growing your bankroll, you better be in there 12 hours a day, all day, every day. Let's see. Sometimes you feel like you're making bad decisions on purpose. Well, don't do that. Don't make bad decisions on purpose. Let's see. You got a master's degree and you don't think you'll ever drop your career. You enjoy poker and will likely keep studying to trying to make that big score. Until then, cash game grind continues. Yeah, I mean, you have to understand that once you do have a career, it takes a lot to give up a career, right? And, I mean, one of my friends in the poker world, he worked with my wife at one of the top law firms in the world, and I don't know how much he made from his job, but probably $500K or more a year. Yet online, he was winning $500K or more a year and playing part-time. This was back in the heyday. He's like, man, I'm really thinking about quitting my job. I'm like, that would be ridiculous to quit your job because your job is good. He didn't hate his job or anything, but it took up 10 hours of his day every day. He thought, man, if I could just be sitting there grinding online 10 hours a day every day, then I'd make a lot more money because I'm making $500K playing 4 hours a day or 3 hours a day. Think about it if I had 13 hours a day, right? Anyway, he did not quit his job. Online poker declined significantly. He went from being a big winner to a small winner, and now he still has his really good job at a top law firm. With 100 big blind stacks, you open queens on the button, small blind, 3 bets. Should you only 4-bet queens if your opponent will shove or fold? No, you can 4-bet for value. You're allowed to 4-bet for value. Make sure you 4-bet small. Let's see. The cost of education has skyrocketed in the last 10 years. Yes, that is accurate. There's a lot of reasons why college has gotten expensive. There's a podcast called Revisionist History by Malcolm Gladwell. Check it out. They have a lot of information on how college has gotten expensive and why college has gotten expensive. And it's kind of depressing. Let's see. Is there a modern poker theory book Is the modern poker theory for cash game or tournaments? It is for both. Tournaments are discussed, cash games are discussed, fundamentally sound strategies across the board are discussed. It does mostly deal with 60, 40, 20, 15 big blind stacks. And that's because that's where most tournaments are played. And also, explaining 100 big blind, 300 big blind, etc. GTO strategies comes very, very in depth. And also, turn and river strategies are also not that hard to develop, which is often where you end up playing for big pots when you're playing very deep stacks. So there's really not a whole lot to that. Like, just on the river, are you polarized or not? If you're not, do a whole lot of checking. If you are, do a whole lot of betting according to the range composition. Is there any merit in trying to get to the top of the chip lead? No, just play great. You don't get to control whenever you get all the chips. How old was I when I started playing poker for more than just a hobby? I started playing poker when I was 18, and I quit my job at an airport, and I quit going to college when I was 19. So it took me a year, roughly. That was, by then I quit college, I had about $200,000 in my bankroll. I started with $50. Look, I literally started with less than this. And we ran it up. We had 200K. How many is that? 2,000 of these. I had 2,000 of these. I don't have 2,000 of these right now on me, otherwise I would pull them out and show you. And then I quit college. I already had a very extensive set of notes and results outlining how I was winning, right? I had very good notes on how I was winning. I did not have, that poker tracker didn't exist back then. But I had a notebook. I posted a picture of it a while back on my Instagram. It's all beat up and old now. I don't even know what it is now, but I took a picture because it was nostalgic, right? Because I had like pages and pages of how I was doing in sit and goes, how I was doing each week, how I was doing each day, and it was consistently up. I showed my parents this. They were like, all right, you know, if you're making 200K in 6 months, you know, maybe we should just let you do this. You can print your money for a few years and then worst case, go back to school. And that's true. That was my backup plan, right? Worst case, I go back to school. It's not the end of the world. Do we still have the cash game deal we had the other night? Yes, we do. You can go to pokercoaching.com/cash. That'll be available for just a little while longer, so check it out. What's the best way to take notes at the table? Go to jonathanlittlepoker.com/notes to see how I do it. Time. Go to jonathanlittlepoker.com/books, and you can see all of my books, including Positive Poker, which is the one you're asking about. Should you be playing 7-6 offsuit in cash games? No, 7-6 offsuit is awful. Low offsuit connected hands are not playable hands. All right. How much did I play back then? I played and or studied about 14 hours a day every day, and I watched television for about 2 hours a day every day. I did that for 3 years straight. That is how you get elite at anything, is devoting your life to it. Now, that's not the best for relationships, for mindset, for health. I was not healthy. I did not have good relationships, but I got really good at poker and I won a bunch of money. And that's all I really cared about back then. But now I realize that is not ideal. Now I have a family. I'm in at least okay shape. I have great relationships. I'm making better relationships, like in terms of friends and whatnot. And I don't play as much poker. That's because I don't feel the need to play as much poker anymore, because I already have a very solid bankroll. And also I get to stay home and work on my coaching business, which is helping all of you. I enjoy helping all of you. Louis Philippe, my number one fan. Poker Coaching Premium is so packed with great technical content. There's always something to improve your game. And I agree. That was the goal of Poker Coaching Premium. It's to give you a full, extensive library of training content for whatever you want. This is not a site where, you know, you go and you pay a bunch of money. I see some training programs want $1,000 or more for 6 hours of content, right? I mean, just this deal we have right now, pokercoaching.com/cash is, I don't even know, 30, 40 hours of content for a tenth of the price. And if you sign up to Poker Coaching Premium, it's $100 a month, which I get is a little bit pricey, but if you are playing 1 to no limit and you're winning $3,000 or $4,000 a month, then you know, you're good to go. King Knox says, why doesn't Poker Coaching Premium have a section on overbetting? King Knox, that will literally be out next month. I recently hired Jonathan Jaffe, who I think is one of the absolute best poker players in the world, especially in the exploitative department. And his first class that he came to me with was overbetting. I want to learn overbetting from him, so he's going to make it work. 14 hours a day, 360 days, 3 years, 15,000 hours. Yeah, that's right. That's how you get good. That's how you get good fast. Now, it doesn't take, you do not have to do it like I did do it, right? I was a little bit too hardcore when it came to playing. I would have definitely done it differently looking back. If my kids decided to be poker players, I would definitely tell them to do it differently. But I would still have played instead of 14 hours a day, maybe 12 hours a day, maybe 10 hours a day. And that would have been plenty. I think something you're going to find with a lot of content producers out there who are selling something is that a lot of them just want to make money. And I know, probably sounds potentially hypocritical coming from me given I sell stuff, but I would also tell you to look at the immense amount of free work I put out, because I am trying to help all of you, whether or not you have money to spend or not, improve your skills. If you have money to spend, I'm happy to give you access to everything I have. But just go to jonathanlittlepoker.com. Take a look at the blog. There's probably we've been doing it for 5 years. 3 years? 5 years? 5 years, I think. We haven't missed a week. Just pure free content every week. We have a podcast and a blog post every single week. What's 5 years times? So that's, what? That's 300 blog posts at about a page or two each. 600 pages of content that I think is very relevant for you, right? Also, we went through, 500 poker hands on Weekly Poker Hand. 500 hand reviews, completely free for you. Go to pokercoaching.com. You can sign up for a free membership. It's a trial membership. The whole site's not unlocked. But it's completely free, right? You can get my books on audiobook for free. You can get one of those for free at jonathanlittlepoker.com/free. Anyway, I put out a lot of free content because I realize that is how you help everyone. And I want to help anyone who wants to improve their lives. You usually play 6 max online. Should you practice 9-handed before you go play live? Probably. I don't think it's that relevant, but I do think it's at least somewhat relevant. Would you agree that there's a positive correlation in tournaments that the blinds levels go up, the field and hand ranges get wider? I would disagree with that. I think most people play way too many hands when they're deep stacked. Here's a $1 million question. Why is paid training so much more valuable than the vast amount of free resources? Paid training is valuable because it's consolidated. For example, if you take one of the courses that people are charging $1,000 for out there for six hours of content, it's probably going to be pretty good. It's probably going to be consolidated, probably going to be in a very clear, organized structure. Like, for example, my cash game class, it's only $100, but it is about 6 hours long, which is all you really need to go through the most common spots and teach people the fundamentals they need to succeed. Obviously, I go in depth, and there's also lots of bonus content to supplement it, 40 hours or so. But that 6 hours is really concise, really to the point, and very structured. Whereas if you just go watch, Weekly Poker Hand, for example, if you go through and watch 500 episodes of Weekly Poker Hand, then you'll learn a lot, but it'll be all scattered. It won't be so structured, right? And structured learning, like in the cash game course, there are lots and lots of examples on exactly what we were discussing then. Going through those examples and learning to do it yourself in real time on that specific tool is very helpful. Also, pokercoaching.com is interactive, right? As the McFuss says, we have lots of quizzes. It's like me sitting over your shoulder playing. And yet, believe it or not, these things are expensive. They're expensive to make. Also, you're going to find that when you pay content creators money, you usually get better content creators. I've watched a lot of YouTube poker strategy videos, and a lot of them are awful. They're made by people who are not actually that good at poker. And that's fine. You're allowed to make whatever content you want, but if you're learning from someone who's not very good, don't expect to get very good. All right, back to backup plans. Retirement. Retirement's sort of like the ultimate backup plan. We kind of discussed this earlier. Every time you have a big score, if you're a tournament player, lock up some of that money. Pretend like it's just gone. Every year, try to put money in a retirement account because you never know what's going to happen. Even if you don't make it to retirement, say you hurt yourself and you get old or whatever. Say you hurt yourself and you can't work anymore, then it's nice to have a load of money that's just kind of sitting there that you know to never touch. The problem with most poker players is they don't view it as I can literally never touch this. They view this as a piggy bank, and it's not a piggy bank. So what I did is I locked up some money in real estate. I locked up some money in angel investments, which you cannot touch. I locked up some money in my retirement account. I locked up some money in gold and silver. We locked up money in things that are kind of hard to move, or just things I don't want to move, right? And then of course we have money in like a stock account, like Wealthfront. Wealthfront is where I do a lot of my business, where they hold the money that I think I may need, and they have a good savings account now, by the way, 2.5% roughly, which is a pretty solid savings account, because like if you rent an apartment short term, this is why I sold one of my condominiums recently. It was returning about 5% a year out the door, assuming nothing broke. If something broke, it returned like 0% a year. So would I rather just get 2.5% per year, no headache, or 5% a year with headaches and no access to that money? I'd rather have 2.5% with access to the funds, right? So if you have access to things like that, that is very, very valuable, because 2.5% is actually something. It like beats inflation, which is way better than sitting in your regular bank account. Why don't people play as well as the people you're training us to play against? Alex, I'm not sure what you're asking. Are you saying the people I train you to play against are better than your opponents? Look, we have cash game, like low stakes cash game quizzes by some of the coaches on the site. We're also bringing in some coaches to make more small stakes stuff. But against the bad players, it's easy to play against them. I mean, I have a book back here, Strategies for Beating Small Stakes Poker Cash Games or Tournaments. It's mostly about how to beat the players who play really, really poorly. And it's not all that hard. If they bluff too much, do a whole lot of calling. If they fold too much, do a whole lot of betting. Easy game. It really is easy when you're playing against players who have egregious flaws. Maybe I should make a bunch of quizzes on this. I mean, to be fair, I discussed it in the cash game course. But anyway, figure out what your opponent's doing, then just maximally exploit them until they figure it out. And they won't figure it out if they're really, really bad. All right, yes, I have a retirement plan. Retirement plan is important because at the end of the day, we all go downhill. I mean, I think there's a sad story of Johnny Moss, who was the World Series of Poker champion, I believe, 3 times. The first time he got voted in, I don't know if that counts. Could you imagine at the World Series of Poker we vote for who we think played best? What a funny setup that would be. But anyway, apparently he, like, whenever he was old, he died playing like 3-6 no limit with no money to his name. Or 3-6 limit with no money to his name. And I'm not going to necessarily say that's sad, because who really cares if you have money or not at the end of your life? But presumably, if he does not have any money, it means that his like brain functions decline from the point of being like one of the best in the world to perhaps not the best in the world, and nowhere near the best in the world, and he should have retired. Assuming, again, you care about money. There is this idea in games that if you have any resources left at the end of the game, there's a chance you didn't play it right. So, you know, at the end of your life, if all you care about is your life and not your family's life, your kid's life, whatever, you probably should run out of money at the end of your life, right? Obviously, if you have nothing going on in your life, you can make loads of money and donate it to charities, which, you know, helps other people. But there's the idea in some games, like if you have any resources left at the end of the game, perhaps you didn't utilize all your resources well. Where is that savings account? It is at wealthfront.com. wealthfront.com. What about living it up? Life is short. How do you delay gratification on such a serious level? Realize you don't need a lot of the things you think you need to be living it up to get. I bought a fancy watch when I was a kid when I won $1 million for about $15,000, and that was just a pure waste of money. It was fun. I liked it, and it taught me a lesson that it was a pure waste of money. And it's important to realize what things actually matter. Like you say, do you plan on taking your kids on any trips? Yes. I don't think taking kids on trips is a waste of money. I think experiences are highly valuable. Doing things with the people you love is highly valuable. You know, to be fair, maybe going to the club and spending a bunch of money is highly valuable to you every once in a while. The problem, though, is a lot of poker players, I know many of them, who would play 10-20 no limit, win $2,000 or $3,000 every day, and then go spend $1,500 of it at the club every night. That's what they did, literally, every night. They wake up hungover, they play a little bit worse, they do it again, they win a little bit less, they play a little bit worse, they repeat the cycle till they're broke today. And it's because they dumped $500K off at the clubs and ruined their brain. So, do they have good memories from this? Eric says, memories are very valuable indeed. But that was more of like an addiction. right? And you have to realize that, like, who am I to say what matters to some people? It's very important to realize that what I think matters to people may not actually matter, or what they think matters may not actually matter to me. For example, Kevin says tattoos and piercing are a waste of money. Well, depends on who they're for. What if they give someone an infinite amount of confidence? Or what if you get someone something tattooed on you that is very sentimental to you, and you look at it and it makes you happy? I have no tattoos. This is coming from someone with no tattoos. But you need to realize that just because you think something doesn't matter doesn't mean that other people think it doesn't matter. For example, I like Magic the Gathering cards. To be fair, I'm very quick to sell them if I get a good offer, so it's not like I'm attached to them. They're more of investments. But, to be fair, there are some cards I have a book of them, that I'm not trying to sell them or anything, I just like them. The book's probably valued at only like $200 or $300. I say only, but that's $200 or $300 a lot of you, probably 99% of you would think is a stone waste of money. Right? But these are cards that have good nostalgia to me. Every month I'll get it out and look at it and smile and think of the good times, right? Tattoos, I think, do things like that to people. And that said, again, some people get tattoo addictions. Some people get piercing addictions, whatever. Realize that just because you think something doesn't matter doesn't mean that other people thinks that it does not matter. Let's see. Have we met? Injury and sentimental tattoos. I'm not sure what you mean, Polly, but yeah. Black Lotus. Yes, I have a Black Lotus. I have an Instagram account. You can go check it out. It's called Daily Magic Muse. M-U-S-E. What's my favorite song? I don't really listen to music. I like Paco Bell's Canon a lot. I was on David Tuckman's podcast recently. He asked me what my favorite song is they wanted to intro me to, and I said Paco Bell's Canon. And he said he's never had that option. Never had that answer. It's also on Twitter if you're on Instagram. If you're watching on Instagram, just go to Daily Magic Muse. I post a fun, signed or altered magic card every day. For fun. You know why? Because I like it. One thing I definitely suggest you do in terms of backup plans is find the things that you enjoy and see if you can make a business out of it. And I'm not going to try to buy or sell magic cards because I realize it's a low profit thing, and also it's like I'm not going to do it, essentially. And I just enjoy it. So, strictly keep it a hobby. It's fun. It's fun and nice. What is the name? DAILYMAGICMUSE. You saw me at Foxwoods. You would have introduced yourself. You should always introduce yourself, Lefty Poker. Come up and say hi. Obviously, it's maybe better to wait until a break or something. But realize that I'm happy to meet all of you. I'm not some jerk poker player who doesn't want to say hi to the people who appreciate him. Oh, I described you exactly. You took a life-changing injury and got a sentimental tattoo that you look out for inspiration. Exactly. So is that a waste of money? Like, no. No. Whatever you spend on the tattoo, you probably derive so much more value from that. So then you may say, like, are some things waste of money? Like cocaine. Is cocaine a waste of money? Probably. I don't know. I've never done cocaine again, so I don't know. That said, I hear it's not so good for you, and you have to ask, how far do you go down this list of things that are good and or bad for you? And I don't know. But the question is, should you spend money on the finer things in life? Like, it depends on what the finer things are and if they are lasting and provide you a significant amount of value, right? And my example was going to the club every single night. It's probably not the best use of your funds. Going to the club once a year to celebrate something amazing could be perfectly fine. So I think you're going to find a lot of things in moderation are great. And that's basically it. A lot of things in moderation are great. I played Magic Online. I used to play a ton of Magic Online until I had my kids. I don't think I've played a single game of Magic Online since I had Thomas 6 months ago. I think I only played a little bit since I had James. I play only Vintage and Legacy. Used to play a lot of Draft, but Draft took too much time to keep up with. Stuff like Standard and Modern definitely keep too much time to keep up with. For all of you on Instagram, I have a whole Magic the Gathering collection right down there on the floor. There are 600 800 count boxes full of a Vintage and Magic the Gathering collection. Everything I need signed and or altered. To be fair, I mostly play the blue decks. Let's see. We need to meet up for golf sometimes. I don't play golf at all. Golf is another game, right? It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. Many would consider it a splurge. And some people love it, right? If you play every once in a while, it's probably great. If you play all day, every day, maybe not so good. But I send your friend a message. Tell your friend to email jonathan@pokercoaching.com, and I will definitely reply. For those who do not know, I see literally every single email that comes to support@pokercoaching.com, jonathan@pokercoaching.com. All of that is there. Do I like control decks? I like not workshop decks. How about that? You spent $1,400 on green fees this summer. Well, yeah, is that a lot or a little? It depends, right? If $1,400 is nothing, then sure. If $1,400 is a lot, then maybe you need to find something else to do. Anyway, moderation. Moderation is the key to most things, but like we said at the top of the show, to get really good at anything, you really have to devote yourself to it. And you have to ask, are you trying to be a world-class golfer? And if you're not, you probably don't need to be golfing all day every day. Is moderation the topic? No, the topic is having a backup plan. But we did somehow get on the topic of moderation. You're not sure if cocaine in moderation is great. You know what, Fred? I have a few friends who use cocaine about once a year. They have a great time on it. And they can do that. I know that I have quite an addictive personality, so I don't touch it. I'm smart enough to know myself and know that that is not what I need in my life. But they do every once in a while have a great time. So, call it what you want to call it. I'm certainly not advocating drug use. I don't use any drugs. And, I'm not against them. Do whatever makes you happy, whatever that means. And if you do it every once in a while, then hey, it's probably okay. Like going out and having way too much to drink. Is going out and having way too much to drink okay? It's not good for you, but every once in a while, sure. I do that every once in a while, and I don't see much of a problem with it. Are we doing another class with guests like we did in Vegas 2 years ago? Probably not. That was a whole lot of work for not much reward. Why are the new GTO charts? Do you do a whole lot of flatting on the button? Should we flatten the button more and use a polarized 3-betting strategy, or stick to the GTO charts? I stick to the GTO charts for the most part, but it depends a lot on who is opening. Perhaps talking about moderation. Yes, we're talking about moderation is today's backup plan. Indeed, don't lose your mind. If you have 300 pounds in the bank grinding 5 no limit on Zoom, stop playing Zoom. Besides being on more poker coaching, what would be my next step? Stop playing Zoom. If you stop playing Zoom, you'll play in softer games. You'll build your bankroll quicker. You'll move up faster. And you'll get more, quote-unquote, real-world experience at poker. Yeah, stop playing Zoom. Drinking is worse than drugs. I agree. Society is weird, indeed. I really don't want to go to jail. For those who don't know that about me, I prefer to not go to jail. So if you tell me I can drink all I want, but not do any cocaine, if you tell me cocaine's better for me, I'm probably just going to drink because I really don't want to go to jail. So you want to say we never again flat and the other beat the Bieber. I don't know what you're trying to trick me into saying so that you can make a meme out of me. But essentially, look at the charts. They're right there. Is BetOnline legit? I don't know. Just drink coffee does the same thing as cocaine and it's a lot cheaper. Indeed. Charlie Carroll says, Zoom is the best way to improve it. It's the hardest and with more rake. That's exactly right. Should you put more weight on grinding softer sites? Probably. Zoom is a game where as soon as you fold, you move to the next table. Now, and then you play another hand. So basically you can go fold with all your bad hands and get through 6 hands that would normally take you much more time. I would much prefer you to 16-table regular games than 4-table Zoom. That said, Zoom is hard because the rake is high. Also, the games are tougher. So, if you tell me you have 200 pounds in the bank, $200, 200 euros, whatever, that's not a ton of money, right? So my first thing to tell you to do is to get a hold of more money. How do you get a hold of more money doing the exact same thing? Play softer games at the same stakes. Easy way to transfer to softer games at the same stakes is to play non-Zoom games. So that's what I would tell you to do. You can only afford Table on Stars now. Yeah, 4 on Stars, 4 on Party, 4 on 888. There you go. You got 12. You're good to go. But anyway, look, playing in tough games is great for experience. I've played a whole lot of 2-5 Zoom where almost no one's a winner. I'm not a winner. I was losing like 1 big blind per 100, which is basically break even. I was basically losing the rake. Which, if you tell me I'm playing with the best players in the world, which is where the best players in the world very often go to quote-unquote practice, and we're losing the rake, it's not so bad, right? But I'm not doing it to make money. I'm doing it for experience. When you are getting started and you have no money, you need to get a hold of some money. And the easiest way to do that is just to play in games that you can beat. And it sounds like right now you're probably not beating it for all that much because you only have 200 pounds. Let's see. Is winning money your goal now? What about improving to 5, 10, 25 Zoom and then changing? I wouldn't do that. I would just win money first and move up. Like, why do you think you have to play Zoom? That is so unlike the actual real poker world. I always suggest you grind a game with a future, and I don't really think Zoom is it. If your backup plan is to be the best in poker, what do you suggest? Read Mastering Small Stakes No Limit Hold'em. Get this book immediately and read it. Understand it. Know everything about it. Go to pokercoaching.com/premium. Sign up. Go through the cash game course. Go through all of the tournament content. It will take you a long time because there's a lot of work there, but it is all good, concise information on specific topics that you need to know to succeed at poker. That's what I suggest you do. All right. I have to go now. Instagram caps me at an hour, and I'm almost at an hour. What's the best, softest site for USA players? What's the best area? LA, Florida, one of the two. Probably Florida. Like Fort Lauderdale region. They have nice enough weather. It's a little bit hot. Casinos are nice. Actually, maybe LA is better if you are playing small stakes games because they usually rake less. Vegas rakes pretty low too. Maybe Vegas. Maybe just Vegas. I bet you can find like good 1-2 games at random places. I think that's probably your best shot because I know they don't rake all that much. Future of poker is up and down. Poker is interesting because if you look at the Google searches for poker-related terms, they kind of decline. Either that means most people already know them, so they don't have to Google them anymore, or maybe that means people aren't coming into the game. But people do leave the game, right? Because they go broke. So that might be a problem. That said, if you look at tournament attendance is up. So it's hard to know what exactly is happening. Louis Philippe says, thanks again for another great session. Always great to share your mindset. Well, thank you all for being here. I definitely appreciate all of you. If all of you are not here, enjoying yourselves, doing your best to learn together, I would not be here either. So thanks to all of you for being here. I do appreciate you. Again, check out my cash game class at pokercoaching.com/cash. That is a great way to support me with your money. If you don't want to support me with your money, tell your friends. It's another great way to support me. So because instead of, perhaps the 8 people who are here will get 9 next time. Actually, that's just a joke. Some people don't like it when I make jokes that are self-deprecating. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks again for all of you. I definitely appreciate all of you being here. Tell your friends. Click like, click subscribe, click share. And I'll be back on Friday with another episode of A Little Coffee. Thanks for watching.